All right, here. Comments are live. I don't like that. I think that's much better. All right. Any minute now. There we go. We're going to go to our scene. Okay. Here we go. I got feedback that what I was doing is old school, it's outdated, and people are going to come to me for the knowledge that I have. The knowledge that I have is how to run numbers. So they said to teach them, you real estate investors, how to run numbers. So I believe in teaching people how to think instead of teaching people what to think. So what we're going to do today is very quickly how I run new acquaintances through stuff. So let's just say that you know you want to be a real estate investor, but you're not quite sure how to go about your first deal. You don't really know the numbers yet. So the first thing that we're going to do is have, whoopsie, I did something. Thought I was on this one. There we go. The goal is, let's just say you want to have a long-term rental of a single family home. And then I would say, okay, so you want to, what we in the industry call buy and hold a single family house. How much money do you want to be making per month is usually the next question that people will think about. They think about the per month. And let's just say this person thinks that a single house will retire them and they can make $10,000 a month. It happens more than you'd think. Okay, so that's their goal. They want a long-term hold, they want to get into single families, and they want $10,000 per month to replace them. So then they're going to come over to their web browser and they're going to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going to look. This is where I think it's really cool for people of this generation. Sorry. I got no sleep for the last 2 nights. Brain is not braining. All right. I'm gonna go over here to Gemini. Let's get a new chat. I want to know how many single family houses I would need to rent out in, let's choose a big city, Dallas, Texas. I want to know how many single family houses I would need to rent out in Dallas, Texas in order to bring home 10,000 a month. Show me step by step how to do the numbers. I am bad at math, so explain the equations to me at a middle school comprehension level. Okay, so this is what we're trying for. I want to know how many single family houses I would need to rent out in Dallas, Texas in order to bring home 10,000 a month. Show me step by step how to do the numbers. I'm bad at math, so explain the equations to me at a middle school comprehension level. What did I just do there? For a lot of people, they don't try to be themselves. Oh, you know, I just realized. Told you brain's not braining this morning. There we go. I probably haven't been heard this entire time. Oh, gosh. I need more sleep tonight. Well, let's just back up here. Now that you can hear me, I'm doing a example of somebody who has decided that they want to do long-term holds for single-family houses and they want to be bringing in $10,000 a month. Well, then I'm bringing them over to here where they're just going to ask an AI. I want to know how many single-family houses I would need to rent out in Dallas, Texas in order to bring home $10,000 a month. Show me step by step how to do the numbers. I'm bad at math, so explain the equations to me at a middle school level. Break it down into getting the property, holding the property, and then how to sell the property for a profit. And let's see what it comes up with. Yes, I am aware that I am a bookkeeper and a financial analyst and a CEO who is telling you to go to AI. Why am I telling you to go to AI? I am not suggesting that you use it on a live deal. I am not suggesting it to go for tax strategy. What I am trying to do as a CEO, bookkeeper, and financial analyst, I suggest that you use AI to understand your needs and your business plans. As a financial analyst, I cannot tell you if you're on track to go where you need to go or where you want to go. Oh, hold on. It's beeping at me that I'm out of line. There we go. Now we're back in line. I cannot tell you if you're on your path to your goals unless you tell me what your goals are. one of the reasons why I personally love real estate is because a deal that might be bad for one person could be a gold mine for another person. Somebody might not want to put $100,000 down, but somebody else might want to lock in a 2% interest rate on a mortgage. So real estate can be complex, but it can also be simple. I a lot of times say it's like a dating. You have to know what your deal breakers are, what your boundaries are, before you can just start taking people out for coffee. If you don't know what you're trying to get out of this, then you're never going to find it. Like, you're not. Even if you did somehow find what would be a good match, if you're not prepared for it, you'd probably mess it up. So for this goal of 10,000 a month passive income, a lot of people tell me that they just pull a number out. For some reason, it's 10,000 a month, a million a year. And I'm like, you realize how different those numbers are. And they don't. They don't. They don't realize that 10,000 a month seems good to them and $1 million gets thrown around on their, their influence or whatever they're following. So those are the two numbers they get in their head. So I have to bring them down to some reality, or personally bring them up to a personal goal of a reality, because I've met plenty of people who truly could live a life that they love, and they didn't need to be making 10,000 a month or $1 million a year to have the freedom and the level that they wanted. So let's see what these results are. Let's see. And please be aware that AI is, I was talking about that. AI is generative. So what that means is that if you ask a question in a slightly different way, it can give you a slightly different answer. So don't just ask it once and then take it as that is the goal. Also, my technical side, I like to question the AI, but we're not here for me, because you can't be me. That's why people hire me, because they can't be me. But this is what you can do as my client. All right, bringing home 10,000 a month in passive income is a fantastic goal, but it's a big mountain to climb. In the world of real estate, there is a difference between rent, the money the tenant pays you, and cash flow, the money you actually keep after everyone else is paid. You can find out your rent. You can calculate out your taxes. You can do all these little bits and pieces. But you're going to hire somebody like me to understand your cash flow, to understand the difference between the pro forma, what you thought it was going to be, and your rent roll, what actually turned out to happen. Why would people pay money for it? Because I'm going to already have all the dashboards made. I'm going to be able to look at a property and within such a short amount of time compared to a newbie, give you the answers that you need so you can make or break a deal. Now, sometimes, the best thing you can do is to walk away from a deal. Why would you fight and get into a deal if the numbers prove you're going to lose at the end of it? And that's why people pay for a financial analyst, because we can give you the information quickly. And if you keep a financial analyst on who can truly understand all of your goals, which is what we're talking about right now, and your current portfolio and where you're going with your portfolio, that is an absolutely invaluable member of your time. I promise you, no matter what they are charging you, if they're worth their salt at the end of your portfolio, they're going to make you way more than you ever paid them. So it's kind of like having a really good attorney on your tenure. Trust me, if someone tries to sue you, you're going to want that attorney, and they're going to save you a lot more money than it would have cost you to not have them. So to get $10,000 in your pocket, we have to look at what's left after the big four expenses: taxes, insurance, maintenance, and management. It amazes me how many new investors get into a house Or say, hey, I want to buy my buddy's property, and it's a great deal. This guy's bringing in, he showed me his rent roll, and he's bringing in 20,000 a month. I want to get it. And I say, okay, well, what is the cash flow? What do you mean? I just told you. I said, no, you told me the rent. Okay, maybe he's bringing in 20,000 a month, but how much of that is going out in taxes? How much of that is going out in insurance? How much of that is maintenance? And is there deferred maintenance that you're going to have to put up? Because there are a lot of people who get burned in real estate. I don't know if I want, well, the example is single family, so we'll stick with single family. There are a lot of people who are ready to sell when they know a big purchase is coming up because they'd rather have that purchase go to somebody else. What are the biggest purchases? The roof. What's the condition of the roof? HVAC. What's the condition of the HVAC? Foundation. The number of deals I have seen analyzed where just to fix the foundation, it would take them almost 4 to 5 years to pay off just that cost. So you would be holding that property at a zero or very potentially negative every month because they didn't want to take the time to bring somebody in there and to see. The other one is management. Oh, who's the management? Oh, my buddy manages it. Okay, well then that sucks for you because now you have to become the manager. Oh no, I'm going to keep him on. This is not financial advice. This is not legal advice. This is just my opinion. Don't do it. Do not do it. If it was so easy and profitable to run that business by themselves, trust me, they'd still be doing it. So by asking yourself about the big four expenses, as it's calling it here, I've never called it that, but asking about taxes, insurance, maintenance, and management. So part one, the math, middle school style. Why do I say middle school style? Because first off, the vast majority of the population on Earth can at least understand basic middle school style. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Most people can understand that. Now, as you get into more advanced and such, you're like, but everything is those four. Yes, but it's those four in combinations. It's kind of like saying versus apple pie. All three of them really are the same, but you have more steps to put together, and most people do not have all of those steps put together. So let's see what this says here. Part one, the math. Middle school style. In Dallas, a typical 3-bedroom single family house rents for about $2,500. What has this world come to? My American economy, oh my God. However, you don't get to keep all of that. The 50% rule. Real estate experts use a simple shortcut. Expect 50% of your rent to disappear into expenses, not including a mortgage. That is a very good point, yes. Even if you own the house free and clear, no bank loan, you keep half. If you have a mortgage, you keep even less. So it's showing you the equation of rent times 0.5 and the take-home pay. So we are going to bring up we are not going to bring up a calculator. I was going to show a calculator, but my recording software is not showing a calculator. I know how to get a calculator in here. So we are going to come up here. We are going to go to that's great. Well, see, now it won't work there. All right, this is frustrating me. I have not done the vast majority of these. There we go. Figured it out pretty quick. Okay. So I'll put it somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to make it like really, really big so somebody can see. We're going to say equals 2,500 times 0.5. Okay, so it is suggesting that right off the bat, 1,250 from that property will be gone, and that's not including your mortgage. Now, this goes back to a very, very important point. Why would you need somebody like me versus AI? Well, somebody like me can tell you what the current mortgage rates have been. And when you're going on to a deal, I can tell you if that deal is a good deal or not. Okay, so it did show already. You probably saw that immediately and was like, why are you doing it the other way? Well, I'm trying to show you how you would do it yourself. If you're just on your cell phone or just on your laptop somewhere, you can open up a free Google Sheet. Oh, God, I need more sleep. And I'll open up a Google Sheet and have that happen. So, how many houses do you need? To find out how many houses it takes to reach $10,000, we divide your goal. Well, no. No, 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 no. Okay, yeah, see, I don't agree with this at all. Okay, we're going to try something different. And this is why you come to me and not there, because that's just not what we're going to do. All right, we're coming in here, and we're going to say Dallas, Texas. Let's go to Dallas, Texas. For sale. All right, and we want to have, let's come up here. Let's just say we want a 3, 2, because that's going to be what most people are willing to have. And okay, a million, yeah, 1.4, probably not the best. This one's just a condo. We want a house, so home type, deselect all and just choose house, apply. Okay, so now that's giving us, okay, so this one, as we can see, is up in the northern part. $64 million. Yeah, see, this is another thing that I'm trying to show you. I have had people come to me and say they want a single family home, and then they choose something like this that has 10 bedrooms, 17 bathrooms, and they call it a single family home. As opposed to, let's say this one, 3 bedroom, 3 bath for $189,000. However, look right above it. 3 bedroom, 3 bath for $399,000. So, which one would you go for? Once again, I have to know what you're looking for. Can either of them be a profit? Yes. You get a $1 profit, sell 1,000,000 of them, you got $1,000,000. You've got a $100,000 profit, sell 100 of them, you got $1,000,000, or 10 of them. No, 100 of them. Calculators. So, I need to know what your goals are. And if your goals, wait, how did I, there we go. If your goals are just this, I can't help you. I can't help you. So what is my point number 1? Learn your numbers. Learn your numbers. You can't just go out there and say, oh, I want to make $10,000 a month. Okay, that's the end goal. That's the byproduct. What's the input? always tell me your input. So, for example, how much do you have on cash? How much can you get on credit? Can you even get a mortgage? Do you need to get creative financing? We're going to leave it simple at that. Trying not to get on a soapbox here. So let's just say that for most people, they get scared of the bigger numbers and they're going to go for a small house. So we're going to go to this house. We're going to copy this link and come back over here. Just as an experiment, how much would a mortgage cost on this house? And how much would the potential rent be? Oh, this one might say that it can't actually go to the website. Oh, okay. This one can. Okay. This is a great specific example. Be specific. Because this house is priced lower than average, the numbers look a bit different than our first example. If you bought this house today with 20% down, so now look at that. You have to have $38,000 down. When most people are starting real estate, they don't have that kind of cash. So they're already like, oh, either I can't do it or what am I going to do? The people who are going to succeed are the ones who say, how am I going to get this? And there's many different ways. You can get it actually back from the seller. You can get it from a third party. You can actually negotiate to where you don't have that. But so let's just say that okay, so this says your loan payment will be $915. Your property taxes will be $565. Yes, taxes are very high in Texas. Insurance $170. So your total monthly mortgage is $1,650. That's what it's costing you to just hold the house. That's it. Just to hold the house. Not to find the tenants, not to take care of the house. That is just you having the right to own title is costing you $1,650 a month. The potential rent based on similar houses, approximately $2,460 per month. So that real profit, the bring home pay, you collect the rent of $2,460 minus the mortgage of $1,650 minus maintenance and savings, 10% of rent, which is hoping nothing is wrong, but it goes back to my example earlier. Maybe this is below rent, market cost because it needs a new roof. Like there's an active leak somewhere. Or maybe they know that, they're about to get slapped with a code violation from the state that their electrical is out of date or something like that. They know a big expense for the house is coming up, and so they want to get rid of it quickly. That is a huge potential. See it all the time. Minus a property manager, 10% of rent, going back to have a manager. You are either the investor working on growing the business or you're an employee working in the business. And I understand when you're starting out, people have to do both. But the sooner you can separate the two, the better. So always put in your mind, not to mention, if you are the one managing the property, you should be paying yourself like that. So your actual profit would potentially be $318 a month. How many of the specific house to reach $10,000 a month? Well, if you make $318,000 in profit for that house, you're going to need 32 houses. Important bad math warning. You might look at the numbers and think, wait, if the rent is $2,460 and the mortgage, shouldn't I keep $810? In middle school terms, the mortgage is only half the story. If the water heater explodes, $1,500, or the house sits empty for a month between renters. Especially in the age of internet, a lot of people will buy these properties sight unseen, and then they sell it to the next person. It happens a lot. You might think, oh, this is great, this will be fine, we can get somebody in there. And then it turns out that nobody wants to live in there because it smells or it feels creepy. I've definitely had people say that they can't get tenants because the house feels creepy. Um, Another reason why you tell people after every single tenant, you deep clean the carpets, you repaint the walls with non-toxic, non-VOC paint, because it gives people a mental, like, okay, it's a fresh start, it's a new place. If you don't tell them that, also you have to fumigate. Maybe they go in there and they're like, oh, I just saw 3 cockroaches. That means there's probably like 500,000 in this place. I'm not about to deal with it. So, or maybe it's like near a noise. Airplanes are coming over, or there's a train off in the distance, or there could be, excuse me, a cattle ranch, and it's 5 miles away, but when the wind hits just right, oh boy, you do not want to be there. Trust me. I know. So don't get fooled into this bad math of like, oh, everything will go easy, everything will be peachy. It won't. If something can go wrong, schedule for it to go wrong. Because here's the best thing, worst case scenario, everything goes wrong. Freaking everything goes wrong. And you ran the numbers to make sure you still make the money. And then potentially not everything goes wrong. Maybe only half of the things goes wrong. Well, cool. Now you're making more money than you anticipated. You go to somebody like me, a financial analyst, because I'm going to tell you everything that I know of that could potentially go wrong and how to set yourself up to protect yourself if it does go wrong. It's like people say, oh, we'll only do a prenup if you don't think the marriage is going to last. No, everybody has a prenup. It's just some people write their own prenup, which would be hiring an analyst ahead of time. And then some people wait until the bad thing happens, and then somebody else writes the rules for you. So always understand, this is a very, I do agree with this one, bad math warning. The mortgage is only half the story. If the water heater explodes $1,500 or the house sits empty for a month between renters, that $810 profit disappears instantly. This is why we set aside money every month for maintenance and vacancy. Summary for this house. Cash you need to buy it. $45,000 down payment. Yes, that's another thing too. Down payment and closing costs. You need to understand, especially if you're going to run numbers, there's a lot of people involved in buying and selling a house. There's a lot. And every single one of them expects to get paid. So your monthly allowance for this house is $318. While $318 seems small, the tenant is paying off your $151,000 loan for you. In 30 years, you own a house worth likely $400,000 plus for free, and then you keep almost the whole rent check. There's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to hold it for 30 years. This is another reason why I say know your specific numbers. What do you want coming into it? What do you want coming out of it? Okay. There we go. That was a small example of how I would have personally talked to people who don't quite know what they want to do yet. Hopefully you know what you want to be doing a little bit better. And if you don't, that's okay. That is totally fine. Figure out what you want to do because there's a lot of different things you can do. Long-term hold over a year is different than short-term hold, say Airbnb, which is also from bookkeeping and tax point of view and investing point of view different than starting a REIT, a real estate investment trust. You need to know what you're doing. Having 32 single family houses is a very different tax strategy than having one 32 unit commercial grade multi-unit. When you're going to ask somebody for help, you have to make sure you set them up to help you. I cannot tell you the number of people who ask me a question and I'm like, how can I give you an answer if you haven't told me the story? I need to know your story. what are you wanting out of this? Some people don't mind. They fell in love with a property and they say, hey, that'll be my investment or my retirement property. I don't mind having a tenant in there for 20 years to pay it down. That's just the house I know I want to retire in. That has happened. Other people say, oh, no, 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 there's no way I want to rent to regular people, regular renters. I only want to do B2B. I only want to do like corporate events and corporate retreats. Well, if that's the case, you would want to go to our earlier example. You'd want that place that has 10 rooms and 15 bathrooms, because a corporation retreat would probably be bringing together a lot of people. Um, so it really is my advice for you this morning is, if you're a newbie and you don't know what you're wanting to do with your real estate portfolio yet, get an idea. Like I said, you can be successful in any of these niches, any of them. They're proven to be successful. You can do it. So I need you to decide your personality. What is your personality? What are your values? What are your goals? That is something a bookkeeper and analyst cannot do for you. You have to bring that to the table. Once you know who you are, where you are, what you want, then I can come in and help you reach that goal. But ultimately, you are directing your advisors on how to help you. I hope that this morning kind of gave you an insight to what it's like, and a little bit of an understanding from our point of view. We can't just write your life for you. Like, we can help you reach a goal, but you have to write that goal. We can only help you get there. So I hope that has helped you. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I guess we'll just do more stuff like this because that's what I'm told people want. So we will. Oh, I saw start recording and I was like, oh, I've been talking to myself this whole time. No, we're streaming. That's why we're not recording.